Hey friends, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing so well. Welcome back to another video. Today, my husband and I, we are heading up to Detroit, Michigan. So if you guys are new here, my husband and I we live in the Indianapolis area, but we have to move for his work to the Detroit area. And I'm a professional thrifter. Like, I love to go thrifting. I resell clothing. I teach other people how to resell clothing online. And so one of my biggest things that I need to figure out is how is the thrifting in Detroit? So we're gonna go on a little journey today. I'm gonna take you guys thrifting with me as I kind of start exploring the area, and then I'll show you guys what I found, and then maybe do a little compare and contrast the thrifting that I'm used to here in the Indianapolis area versus the thrifting that I would be able to find in the Detroit area. We're currently at my parents' house, halfway between Indianapolis and Michigan, and so we're gonna head out here though and go do a little thrifting, see what it's like. I'm really crossing my fingers that it's gonna be good, but I'll take you guys with me. Let's head to some thrift stores. So we're heading into the Salvation Army outlet store. Also, the first thing I noticed, instead of having big blue bins, we have big red bins. Very different change from the Goodwill outlet. But also, there are so many bags. All of these are bags. Like, these are bags bins. I literally would never find a bin full of bags at my Goodwill outlet. But right away, there's a baby Bjorn, a fake Louis Vuitton, and I was like, okay, this might work. This might just work, everybody. But then I also was a little bit confused because I came at the very end of the day. And so they had maybe an hour before they were going to close, and I was still finding some pretty good items. So, I mean, that bodes well, but I also was just not expecting it. And so I was really excited to see some good items hiding in the bins. But I also want to take a second while we're searching through the bins to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Vendoo. Vendoo is a cross-listing software. They are amazing and they have worked with me. I have been a partner with Vendoo for years at this point, and I use them every single day. They're where I list all of my items, and then I use them to cross-list to multiple different platforms. So I post on Poshmark, eBay, and Depop really regularly. Almost every single thing I post, I will cross-list to all three of those different platforms. And then I also will post on Mercari as well. So like this Longchamp bag that I'm finding here in the bins, I will be posting this bad boy to all of my different platforms and then seeing which place will snatch it up. And then Vendoo will also take down that listing from all my other sites once it sells. Super helpful. And so again, I'm working with Vendoo. If you guys have not done any cross listing, this is the time to start. Why not now? Even selling one extra item on a platform that you aren't already using will really already pay for the subscription itself. But also, they have so many great features and they're always rolling out new ones as well. So definitely give them a little look-see, give them a try, and then let's get back into the bins, get digging in here. Again, so many bags, shocking amount of bags. But then I also found this really cool little Uniqlo Roger Federer collab hat. And my husband loves Roger Federer, so I actually recognized that logo and I was very proud of myself. These Stuart Weitzman little heels I thought were really cute, but one of them is missing like this traction pad, and so I didn't want to kind of mess around with that. And they were an older style. If they were super new, I might have done a little bit of work with them. But also, for this being the end of the day, y'all have seen, if you haven't seen any of my Goodwill outlet videos, then you should go and watch them because the shoe rotation is no joke at my bins location. Also, all of these are rubber banded together, and I'm used to them being completely separate, and you have to find the match. So to have them put together for you and have such a selection at the end of the day is actually incredible. Like, I'm shocked by this. Never happen at the bins I usually go to. And then this little leather, like a little planner binder, I found that, and I was going back and forth on if I should get it or not. And I wanted to give you guys a little idea of the things you were able to find in the bin. So this Titleist hat was a really cool collab with Michigan. And then these Brooks shoes I was thinking about buying, and if they were in great condition, I would have. There's a little hole at the toe, but I do like selling Brooks running sneakers, and I thought those were pretty nice actually. And then I did end up picking up these boots, and you'll see them in the haul towards the end of the video. But it's going to be really hard to tell what they say on the bottom here, but it says LK Bennett, made in London. And so very interesting. They are a tall leather boot, real leather. So in the bins, and shoes here were only $3.29 per pair instead of being weighed. So in total, I spent $20.57, but I'll show you everything I got when we get home. Okay, friends, we're back home, and I just got back yesterday from our trip to Michigan. If you guys have missed it, my husband and I are moving to the Detroit metro area, and so We were there looking for houses. We were doing a little house hunting trip. And then while we were there, I wanted to check out the thrifting because this is a big part of my job is thrifting. And so I wanted to see what the thrifting scene was like. Was really intimidated because the pricing there is so much higher than it is here in the Indianapolis area. I'm so used to buying things for like $5 max, sometimes $7 at a thrift store, and everything there was like $30, not even joking, for pieces of clothing and shoes. Insane prices. I did end up going to that Salvation Army outlet. So we're gonna start with the things that I got at the Salvation Army outlet. And that might be my saving grace that they have one BINS location kind of in the area that we're looking at. They don't have any Goodwill outlets in the area yet, but at least there's a Salvation Army outlet, right? So I spent $20.57 and I felt like the pricing was really reasonable. I think it's very similar to what it is here. It's around $1.50 per pound, but they actually had you buy your shoes separately, which I think is actually kind of helpful because oftentimes shoes are heavy. And so I felt like it was pretty reasonable at $3.29 per pair of shoes. That's not bad at all. And I was only in there maybe an hour at the most. They didn't do any flips, but I also only went through basically shoes and bags, and I came out with quite a few great things. So starting off, I have these two Longchamp bags, which I have been loving looking for Longchamp. I sold a Longchamp recently for over, I think around $100. I do not know about the authenticity of these Longchamps. This one has peeling, but it looks pretty good on the leather. This one is a darker leather, and it has no peeling, but I'm unsure of authenticity, so I feel like I'm gonna have to get them authenticated if I want to use them for that. The other option is I just end up using this for myself. I feel like I would use this green Longchamp. This purple one, I don't know anything about. I am really not great at authenticating things myself, but they looked okay, and they're so light that I decided to grab them. I spent 20 bucks, and this probably together weighs maybe a pound, so I maybe paid $1.50 for both. So to me, it felt like a worthwhile risk. If they're real, they could sell for 50 bucks each, maybe more. So I thought it was a worthwhile risk to take. Also, I have both puppies asleep on the couch behind me. Is that not the cutest thing? Can you see? There's little Gracie and there's little Odie. I'm loving having two puppies. It's so sweet. Okay, now this bag I thought was a really good find. This style of bag is really popular right now, and it might look a little bit janky from being in this bag, but it is this kind of like hobo shoulder style green purse, and it is definitely Y2K styling, which is what I think will really help it sell. It's got this little metal charm on the front, some leather tassels as well, but it is this amazing green leather bag, and it is vintage Franco Sarto. So I have sold quite a few pairs of Franco Sarto shoes. It's not like the best brand of all time, but I do feel like this style is great. And I did see some sold for around 50 bucks. And so I think if I get this up on my Depop and, you know, price it competitively, that since it's also a beautiful leather and a beautiful green color, I think this will sell well. Like, that is a pretty good bag, actually. Like, people love that style right now. And anything Y2K has been selling pretty well for me. And then I did pick up one backpack. If I understood how this place's bin system works, I probably would have been able to make some more educated decisions about what I should pick up and what I shouldn't. But holy cow, they were not super helpful. I mean, they're used to people that are in there all the time. I did tell them it was my first time, but at one point I went to put my cart on the scale and they started like yelling at me, and I was like, I just thought I put on the scale like I do back in Indy. And they're like, no. And then they didn't actually say anything. They just took some of my items out of my cart and just threw them on the scale. And I was like, okay, my bad. And so I wish I could have weighed this to see if this was worth picking up. But I found this North Face backpack, and I have no intention of really putting this up to resell. I actually picked this up to take it in with me to a North Face store and do the North Face Renewed program. I haven't done it with bags yet, but I Googled and they said they do accept bags. I did take in, I would say, I think I had like 15 different North Face items I took into a North Face store the other day, and I got $150 of store credit, all things pretty much from the bins or flawed items. And so I'm collecting another round of North Face pieces to take into the store and get in-store credit for them. So I picked that up with that intention. So at the very least, they'll give me $10 for that backpack. That's the low end. And so It's $10, $15, or $50. I think I'll probably get $10 for that, but I thought it was probably worth grabbing it. Okay, then I'm trying out some new stuff while I'm there, right? So I saw this little leather kind of like pocketbook looking thing in the bins. It's a little binder, but it's actually for somebody to put like a little planner or a little notebook in here. And then I hope you can see it does have a logo on the side here, and it's for Franklin Quest, which apparently I thought it was really nice. It says it's calfskin leather, made in the USA, and it had a really nice logo on it. So I looked it up, and these actually can sell for good money. Like this looks like it could resell for 20 bucks. So for in the bins, this is so light. It's less than a pound, paid less than $1 for it. And I thought it was a nice little piece. Really was screaming Lori Tata at me. I was like, okay, she probably would grab this and then do some sort of like journaling with it or something. I don't know. But I thought that was a good stationery piece. And so I grabbed that. And if you found a Franklin Quest piece that was like an 8.5 by 11 size, so even bigger, some of those were selling for like 35 to 50 bucks. So again, in the bins, I'm not mad at that. And then one of my best finds, I would say, is this pair of boots. And this is where I think that the $3 per pair of shoes things really helps, is if you're finding something that's like a bigger shoe. And these guys, these probably weigh a few pounds. So I feel like this really helped me out here. But these are this pair of LL Bean boots. So I went there at the very end of the day. They were like closing down shop, and I just found these sitting on top of a bin somewhere. So I was like, I don't know who's looking through these bins, but I felt good about what I was able to find in just a few minutes there. But they're a little red plaid, LL Bean, kind of like nice winter boot. They are waterproof at the bottom. I did a reverse image search, and LL Bean shoes in general do well. So I like to find LL Bean. These are a men's size 9, so ladies probably size 11. But I thought that was a great find. If I even just wash up these waterproof parts a little bit, make them look pretty nice, I think that these should resell for $75, if not more. I saw a sold comp for $80, and so again, for $3, that was awesome. I got 3 pairs of shoes in total. These might be my best find in the bins. And again, this is at the end of the day after everybody has gone through them. But these are a pair of black leather, like knee-high boots. They are really in good condition, but these are from the brand LK Bennett, which I don't think you're gonna be able to tell because it's really light there on the bottom, but they're from LK Bennett. They're made in Spain in a size, I wanna say 38 European, so LK Bennett London, made in Spain, European 38, so round to size 8 on these. I did look at the comps, and for the LK Bennett, like tall boots like these, a lot of them are reselling for over $100, like a lot of this height selling for $150 to $200. So I'm thinking like even $120 would be awesome. I spent 20 bucks on everything. So $20, literally just that tiny little, the little planner thing could pay for all of it. If those go through, that could be an amazing sale. Very happy. Okay, then I have 2 more accessories and a pair of shoes. So this is the last pair of shoes. And again, I picked these up mostly based off of style. And these are a very interesting pair of sandals. They have these fun leather, kind of flippity, flappity, almost looks like flower petals going on the toes, but then I love that it's this green on the side as well. They're a fun pair of wedges, but these are from the brand Born Crown, which I have never heard of. I wonder if it's just an offshoot of Born. I've seen a lot of those shoes before, but again, I looked up comps because I didn't know anything about these, but they looked pretty good as well. And so I thought the bottoms were interesting. They looked to be in really good shape. Doesn't look like they were really worn. They're made out of real leather. And then they're a women's size 10, which I thought was a great size too. Women's size 10 or European 42. Really fun. Like, I feel like these would be really fun shoes for even like a costume or cosplaying or Disney bounding, things like that. Really kind of cool. And that was the last pair of shoes. And for comps for those, I saw some, I thought reselling for around $35, some $40. I'd be gosh darn pleased if I could sell them for that much. And then I did pick up this bucket hat, and I thought this was just a cute, nice bucket hat. It's a black athletic Adidas bucket hat. I have a family member who is always wearing bucket hats, and he could use a new one. So I think I'm just gonna give that to him. And then I was really excited about this. I haven't actually seen myself wearing it, but I've been wanting a visor. And I don't know if that's weird or not, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on one. So I found this little Nike visor in the bins, and this is literally so light. That probably cost me like 25 cents. I'll try it on for you. Of course, I probably would have my hair like in a ponytail with this, but I felt like having a visor could be nice. I wear hats a lot, but I don't know. I felt like to try it out for like 20 cents is the way to do it, right? So those are all the things I got in the Salvation Army bins. I almost called it the Goodwill outlet. I'm gonna really have to catch myself all the time. So I got all of those pieces, but I wanna show you guys everything I got thrifting while we were up there. So I popped into many random thrift stores. Like this one came from a random Salvation Army. I went to a random, there was a lot of Salvation Armies now that I think about it. There weren't a lot of other things. I think maybe actually this was a Goodwill. It could have been. I got 2 pieces. The thing about the Detroit thrift stores I went to, all of them had different colors that were on sale that week, which is not something we do around where I live here in Indy. So I thought that was very interesting. It was cool. Like I was happy to see some sales because my prices here are so much lower and we just don't have any sales. Anyways, this was the color of the week. So it was green. Jeremy and I went and I found exactly 2 items. This pair of linen pants. These are actually in my size. They're from J. Jill. They're in an extra large tall and they were supposed to be $6.95 and I got these for what, $3.50? So I'm gonna try those out for myself. I did try them on over my clothes in the store, but I mean, what can you do? If they don't work for me, I spent $3 on them and I do think I could resell those for maybe $25, $35. And then I did go in the case and I saw this amazing vintage Dooney & Bourke bag, which I just think is stunning. And y'all, I have been selling Dooney & Bourke purses recently for good money. I was a Salvation Army. Okay, so I was at the Salvation Army and this, I don't know if this was a good purchase or not, but I did think it was really cute. It is this amazing Dooney & Bourke little crossbody purse. It's a black leather. It's a really cute design. I love the shape of this. Has the crossbody strap, but this was $30. So I did have to pay up a little bit for it. I did do some research. I do think this will resell for around $90 to $100. So definitely could still make like 50 bucks on this bag. I might keep it for a little while. I don't know. I don't need another purse. So maybe I'll just straight up sell it. But I was just trying to find things, you know? And so maybe I shouldn't have spent so much on that. But I do think at least in this new season of thrifting and life that we're gonna be in as we move, I think I'm going to end up having to pay up for more items. And so I'm going to have to be way more selective with what I pick up. Those are the only 2 things I got at that thrift store. And then the only other place I got anything was another Salvation Army, which also had the color of the week, which was also green. So I wonder if it's the same from store to store as well. And I did, again, pay up for 1 item, and then I did buy 1 home good as well, and a pair of shoes. But Jeremy actually found this, and he thought he might want it for himself. And so we grabbed this. It is this amazing bomber jacket, but this is from Alo Yoga. So this was actually quite exciting to find, but I did have to pay up for it. This was marked at like $20 to $40, somewhere in there. I took off the tag already because my husband wanted to wear it, but this is what the little aloe looks like on the inside. So I did pay up for this, but even if this was $40, the comps for a bomber jacket from Alo Yoga like this are really good, like over $100. So this would probably resell for $120, $140. So we'd still make almost, I don't know, $70 probably at the end. After fees, maybe around $70, $60, which I mean is amazing. If I bought something for $1 and sold it for $60, I'd be super happy. So I think that will be okay. And then this is the pair of shoes I found there. I'm obsessed with these. I think I have recently learned that I just really like J. Crew shoes. I think these are stunning. Look at this shape of this shoe. I think it's so cool. And it's almost like a little mesh all the way around, but then it also has little sequins on it. So it's a slightly sparkly shoe. And then this is the newer J. Crew logo on the inside of the shoe. So I know that that's a great sign. And I did look up these shoes and I found stock photos of them. Unfortunately for me, they do originally come with like a gold chain that goes around the ankle and you can remove it. So it's like removable chain, so you can make it have the ankle strap or not. They didn't have the ankle strap when I bought them, but I do still think that they will sell for good money. I saw a pair recently sell for $65. I think those had the ankle strap, but I think even for 50 bucks, I think that they are adorable. And these were $10, but they were the color of the week. So I got these for $5. Not too shabby. And then the very last thing, Jeremy also found this, and I was like, heck yes, I need that. Look at this amazing snow globe. This was $10. So I feel like that was kind of steep for a thrift store, but it is incredible. It is this vintage Harry Potter snow globe. It's pretty awesome, guys. Like, I am pretty jazzed about this. It's also marked on the bottom, but this has a copyright. It's from 2000. So literally it's 25 years old. It's this really sweet vintage piece. I love this. And I do want at our next home to have a little library area. Maybe I won't have an office, but I'll have an area where I can put my books. And then I think this would be so cute with all my Harry Potter books. So I thought that was amazing. Is that not so cool? It's one of my favorite things we found thrifting. So my takeaways for my first time thrifting in the area that we're moving to is that things were expensive. I was able to find some good deals, but it took a lot more sniffing out than usual. And I'm a little nervous moving forward about having to thrift things that are going to be more expensive, but I just got to be flexible and kind of look at how I do my business and maybe do more BINS shopping than I've been doing for a while. And I think that could still be fun. So yeah, what do you guys think? Did I do okay on my first thrift trip? I feel like it went okay, although it was scary. Yeah, but we're getting ready to move. Our house is going on the market this week. And so if you guys are thinking of us, send up a prayer because it's been crazy over here. But yeah, if you guys like thrifting videos, then make sure you hit subscribe and we'll start going on this new journey of finding new thrift stores here together. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And until the next video, bye.